What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA. My name is Mike. Man, I'm so freaking glad to be back. This is the Lambo Plays podcast. It's UFC 270. We got 2 title fights. We got a shitload of fucking Lambo plays. I got 2 great guests. I mean, this show is gonna be fire, boys. Thank you to everybody that's here. I don't know what else to say. I just want to jump right into it right away. Let me introduce my co-host first. It is none other than my guy, Tajik Bey the GOAT. Look at this guy. This guy looks like an assassin today. What's up?
Thank you for the kind introduction, Mike. Happy to be here. Happy to join everybody. Great to see everybody in chat and joining us today. And happy Friday. I think it's going to be a great night of fights tomorrow. One more sleep, and let's break it down. And oh, there you go. So I'm very excited to be joining you today. So this is awesome. Let's do it.
Thanks, brother. So are you excited for this card?
I can't be more excited because everybody, has very strong takes one way or another when it comes to the main event and the co-main, and it's just we'll find out what is going to happen. I guess it's just an excitement that I cannot bypass, like a tremendous excitement.
I mean, it feels like it's like 2 championship fights and then Dana White's Contender Series, right?
Yes.
All mixed into one.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly how it feels.
All right. Well, with that being said, let me bring in my other guest. This dude has been on my show before. He is red hot. When I tell you guys red hot, he hit a huge Lambo parlay last week. He was in chat and he put it in chat what he was playing, and sure enough, that Lambo parlay hit. It's none other than Tim. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey guys, great to be back.
Are you ready for this card, Tim?
I'm so pumped.
Do you got a Lambo parlay for the people in chat this time? You got another one for them?
Definitely got a couple ready for sure.
Awesome. Nice having you back, brother. Nice having you back. Let me go to chat a little. And Daz, the usual guy that's in here, cool as, looking forward to this podcast. Thank you, Daz. Thank you for being in here. We got Joseph. What's up, brother? Welcome back. What's up, Joseph? Thank you. I appreciate it. Joey, back healthy and better than ever. Yes, I'm back. I'm healthy. Maybe better than ever. I don't know. We'll see. Mushroom, Narco, love. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. Juan, we'll get to that a little later. Let us go through this card. We will answer any questions you guys have in chat. Not a big deal. And Mushroom says, what's up to Tim? Chris, thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Very nice of you. Kind words. But without further ado, let's cut up this card and try to give you guys some Lambo plays. If you guys are first timers in my chat, basically what we're going to do is try to give you guys, this show is about giving you huge money line plus numbers that have value. Okay. We're not just throwing numbers at you guys. We're actually throwing numbers that have some value in them. My buddy's in here. What's up, John? Thank you very much for joining us, John. Awesome guy. Check out his YouTube channel, John Kelly, DFS. Great guy, great DFS guy, great bettor, everything, you name it, and a great guy. But with that being said, let's move on. First fight of the night. I'm not going to pronounce her name. It's JJ to me. She's a Dana White's Contender Series alum. Going up against Kay Hansen. I will kick this one off to the GOAT, Tajik. Give us some Lambo plays here.
Yeah, it's Jasmine Jasudavicius, aka GSP, a freestyle wrestler out of Canada, a silver medalist at that. So I'm excited for her debut. I know not a lot of people are giving her a chance, but I am, and I bet her. And so I like Jasmine Jasudavicius here by unanimous decision at DraftKings at plus 350. And that would be my Lambo play here.
By unanimous decision, it's only 350.
Yeah, right. I mean, we had to.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. What is she by decision?
It's 310. I think you're better off going the 310.
I think it's better off going 310, but it's just gonna be, a Lambo with a gas, right, filled out, like those
You can
extras.
fill out a tank, correct?
There you go. I'm only thinking about that when choosing
I
unanimous
got you.
decision.
Hey, I can't blame you for that. You're even looking out for our viewers to even fill their gas. Not only get their Lambo, but fill their gas. Tim, what do you got here?
I'm on K round 3 at plus 1400. 5 out of 6 of her finishes came in round 3, and she just tends to grind people down. And I think that might happen at 14-1. I'll take a shot on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. Jasmine kind of slowed down in her Dana White's Contender Series fight. She didn't look like she had the best gas tank, but also it's not bad at all. For me, I'm going to go with JJ at plus 310 by decision. And the reasoning behind that is, I always say it, in women's MMA, size matters. Strength matters. If you guys saw them at face-offs this morning, you saw how much bigger JJ was. I don't know if you guys realize, like looking at her fist, did you guys even notice the difference in size of these girls' fists? I mean, Jasmine's fist, much bigger girl. I mean, the thicker girl, you name it. I mean, much bigger here. So, a lot of people are saying, Jasmine's ground game is not that good. And I agree. She got swept twice by Elise Reed in the regional scenes. But, it was she wasn't down there for much. She did get swept, but she wasn't on bottom for long, right? So she got back on top. She's pretty strong, like watching that Julia Palestra fight. She's got good trip takedowns. She got good body lock takedowns. Hansen, to me, on the feet, I'm going to favor JJ here. Like, I think she's the longer girl. I think she's a little better striker here. I think Kay Hansen's improving. But the size, the length, the 6-inch reach advantage, it's all going to favor Jasmine here. And honestly, I think she's the stronger girl overall and the bigger girl. So a lot of people have this narrative that Kate can take her down and do whatever she wants with her. I don't think so. And, giving me this plus 310 number on a fight that I think is going to be very close, which most likely is going to go to decision, I'm going to take the plus 310 number here. Moving on, fight number 2. It is another women's fight at 115. It's Vanessa Demopoulos going up against Silvana Gomez Juarez. What do you got here, Tim?
Oh, this is such a binary fight. Again, if it gets to the ground at all, it's Demopoulos. She's probably going to get a sub. And if it stays standing, I think the right hand of Juarez is good, but Demopoulos is really tough and shown that she's got a pretty tough chin, and I don't think she's going to get knocked out. So, you're on the decision side on Juarez, but I'm actually on the sub side of Demopoulos.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I see that. If she gets this fight to the ground, I think she does have a clear edge there. You also mentioned Demopoulos, very tough, extremely tough girl. We saw it in the last fight against JJ Aldrich, where she absolutely got demolished, but she could not get her out of there. Really, really tough girl. You've seen it on the regional. She's extremely tough, hard to get out of there. For me, I'm actually going to give you a nice Lambo play on this one. I have Silvana Gomez Juarez by split decision at plus 1,000. I think it's going to be a close fight. Demopoulos throws a lot of volume. She does a lot of things. But the one thing I don't think that she's really good at is wrestling and trying to get this fight to the ground. Like, we saw where Juarez is bad, right? And that's defending takedowns, getting taken down on the ground. But let's talk about who she faced and that happened with. That's Lupita Godinez, who's much stronger, has I think she's got a way better overall game than Demopoulos does. Demopoulos, to me, as a striker, is just, I would call her probably a D striker, even an F striker at that. She's not a real good striker. She does throw volume, but Juarez, the much better striker here, the cleaner striker here. You saw Juarez in the regional scene where she fought Ariana Lipsky, who's a really good striker, and she kind of hung with her for a little while there, especially later in the fight. So for me, I think it's going to be a close fight. You're giving me a plus 1,000 number on a girl that I think is going to win the standing pretty easily. And the other portion that I mentioned is I just don't think Demopoulos is going to have an easy time to get this fight to the ground. So plus 1,000 for me. Juarez split decision. I also have Juarez as a straight bet. I'm sorry, as a bet by decision. That's my track bet. It's Juarez by decision at plus 270, 260 range. So I have that also. Tajik, what do you got here?
Well, just like Tim, I'm on the Demopoulos side here, and I think the submission here is viable. To me, to spice things up, I think it's only the matter of finding out which round she's going to submit. She's going to get a submission over Juarez here, and I think probably not in the first, because I think in the first it's going to be the striking exchanges, and maybe she takes her down towards the end and loosen her up a little bit. But I think submission can come in the second round, and so I'm going to take Demopoulos by submission in round 2 over at FanDuel at plus 1,600.
You know, you can if there's one thing in life, it's death, taxes, and Tajik Bey giving you huge Lambo plays. That is a guaranteed every week. So, hey, you know what? You guys both made good points. If this fight does get to the ground, I do think Demopoulos, she's a good grappler. I mean, positionally, she's probably not great, but she hunts for those subs. She goes for it, and that's all you guys can ask for if you're holding that, submission ticket or round 2 submission ticket. So I can't argue with you guys there. Moving on to the next fight, it is fight number 3. I am pumped up for this fight. It is Matt Frevola going up against the Dana White's Contender Series guy in Gennaro Valdez. I have a bet here. I got Frevola as by submission at plus 420. I just think Frevola's the better overall fighter everywhere here, man. The one thing Gennaro Valdez does do well is he goes for it when it comes to takedowns, right? He's always on this regional scene in the Dana White's Contender Series. The guy goes for takedowns. He hunts for them. I just think he's going to have a really tough time to take Frevola down here. I think also Frevola is going to be able probably to take him down. And if he is to take him down, I think on top, Frevola is going to be able to find a sub against this guy. This guy, has a suspect gas tank, a really suspect gas tank. I wouldn't blame you if you have Frevola round 2, round 3 here, because I do have a bet on that also. And also, as a track bet of mine, I do love the under 2.5 in this spot. I got it at plus 100. I think it's moved to about a minus 120, 130 range. I still like it. I think this fight is going to end one way or another. It's just how Valdez fights, man. It's the guy goes for it, and he's either kill or be killed, and I think he's going to be killed here. Tajik, what do you got?
Yeah, I have a similar play here, but since you mentioned this one, I think Frevola by KO and TKO is also viable. Although I heard from a couple of our people who listen to us is that Frevola will be aiming for submission and will be going for submission, which I think it's interesting take that he chooses the method that he's going to submit or finish Valdez with. But I think TKO KO here is a little bit more playable. Unfortunately, that line has been beaten down. Right now, it's plus 330, but it still qualifies for a Lambo bet, at least on the DraftKings side. I don't know how it is with other bookies.
460 on
460 on where? On FanDuel? Let's go.
Yeah, he's always going, guys. This guy doesn't mess around. Tim, what do you got?
I'm going to use both of you guys and go. I think as the fight drags on, I think Matt will try to stay defensive in the first round and try to defend against him going rabies on him and trying to kill him early. And then I think as the fight goes along, like you said, it's going to be really hard for him to just take him down over and over and over. And I think as he gasses round 2 at plus 750, and then round 3 is plus 1,000.
I like it. I like that angle a lot. You might have a point where Valdez, he's just defending takedowns early. Valdez gasses, and then Frevola basically takes over. I do want to mention one thing. I don't want to just say, this guy is, just a gasser based on, the Dana White's Contender Series, because that's all we really have as far as him being gassy, very much. and that was a intense, high-paced fight, right? They were going absolutely bonkers. So I think anybody would guess there the way they were fighting. But again, this guy hasn't been, I don't think this guy's, has he ever been 3 rounds? I think once. Yeah, he's been 3 rounds one time in his career. Most of his fights just ended in the first. We're just going to have that assumption that this guy is gas tank in front of the big lights, UFC 270. You have to take that into account when you're looking at these Dana White Contender Series guys, right? When they're stepping up in the ring, in the octagon, in the UFC for the first time, and it's not in the Apex, it's at UFC 270 in California in front of a huge crowd, it's gonna tax your gas tank. It's gonna give you that adrenaline dump. So these are all viable things that for you guys to all think about.
Hey, if you wanted a hedge too on Frivola, you get round 1 KO on is plus 800 on the other side. So
yeah, I mean that's not bad. Dalton, I'll never bet on Valdez again after he almost gave me a heart attack in his Contender Series fight as a massive favorite. Yeah, like these massive favorites on Dana White's Contender Series are just very, very bad to play. I've seen it over and over again. I will never take a huge favorite in Dana White Contender Series. It's just not the way to go. You will constantly get burned, and it's not going to feel good. But I hear you, Dalton. I hear you, brother. Moving on, fight number 4. It is Tony Gravely going up against, it's the theme of the night, the Dana White's Contender Series guy. It's Simon Oliveira. Kick this one off, Tajik. Your turn.
Yeah, I think here Gravely is aside, but money line here is not even going to give you like a scooter or anything like that. So if we go Lambo, we go hard. My play here is going to be Gravely by TKO in round 3, which is available on FanDuel at plus 1800.
What did I tell you guys? Death, taxes, and Tajik with his huge Lambo plays. It will not fail you guys. Tim, what do you got here, brother?
Yeah, I'm with Tajik. I think that Gravely wins, most likely probably by points, but it's like plus 200, or unanimous points is like plus 200 on DK, so that's not big enough. So I'll just go that maybe he makes the mistake that he keeps making over and over and over and puts himself in a bad spot and gets subbed at some stage in the game. Let's go sub 1 is 1400 and sub in general is plus 550 for Oliveira.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think Gravely should win this fight. It's his fight to lose. I've said it. The guy is, I just think he's the stronger guy here. He should easily take this guy down when he wants to. I think he's the better striker here. When you go watch Simon Oliveira, this guy is all about explosive movements, spinning back fist. I mean, this guy loves throwing this thing. Like, you watch it in a regional, he does it a lot. You watch the Contender Series, I think he did it like 5 or 6 times. He's very aggressive. Has a good gas tank, though. I'll give him that. Like, in that Contender Series fight, throwing all these explosive movements. Still the guy kind of coming forward in that 3rd round. Gravely, like, people question the guy's cardio. I think he has good cardio. Like, watching his regional tape, like, he has a 5th round stoppage. He has a 4th round stoppage. Multiple times he's gone deep into fights and looked completely fine. His cardio is completely fine. But lately, it's like, I don't know what this guy's doing. I don't know what he's eating. I don't know how he's training. But, like, he seems to tire. Like, the Freitas fight, tired. Manis fight, tired. A couple of these other ones, he's getting tired. And it doesn't seem like that when you watch his regional tape. Is it the UFC? It's the bright lights? I don't know. But the technical fighter, the better fighter here is Tony Gravely. I have an official bet on the under in this fight at plus money at plus 105. I just think the way Oliveira fights is going to either put himself in really bad positions or he's going to go for that choke, like you said, Tim. And Oliveira sub is my Lambo play at plus 550. Watching even the Anthony Bershek fight, right? He was in a very, very deep guillotine, managed to get out, but I think Oliveira's guillotines are much better than Bershek's. And I think if he holds that guillotine there, he's going to be in deep trouble and he's going to get subbed. So plus 550 is the way to go as far as Lambo. But my official track bet is the under 2.5 at plus 105. Moving on, fight number 5. It is the Dana White's Contender Series guy, Jack Della Maddalena, going up against Pete Rodriguez. What do you got here, Tim?
I got Jack KO round 2 at plus 500. Sorry if I stole yours there.
Just short and sweet, huh?
Yeah, no, I think he starts off slow. He has a tendency to start off slow. And I just think maybe he just picks him apart a little bit, just keeps his distance, keeps it safe, and then when he knows what he can do, and he's going to go in for it in a second.
Yeah, so John says, better prop. Who throws more spinning kicks, Oliveira, Nurmagomedov? I think Oliveira, just because maybe Nurmagomedov uses his brain a little and says, hey, this guy's a grappler. He's going to take me down if I throw spinning stuff, which I hope he does. But Daz says, Oliveira, Simon by KO, TKO, plus 1,100. Yeah. I mean, I could see it. Will Starks. I don't know what Mr. X is talking about LFA. Will Starks. You must have had a bet on Will Starks. David Stewart, Jack D by sub, plus 700 on FanDuel. Rodriguez gives up his back to get up from bottom guard or when he was mounted in his amateur loss. Rear naked choke round 2. I like that take. So you went into amateurs. You went deep there. I like that, David. Thank you for the information. With that being said, I have Maddalena by submission plus 700 as my Lambo play. And my reasoning is you watch Maddalena on Dana White's Contender Series. This guy's a tank, dude. Like fighting Angel Lusa. He was chucking him off at times. Yeah, he got on bottom once, but he looked really good in the scrambles. Looks extremely strong, built like a tank, coming forward. The one thing that we can expect from Pete Rodriguez here, and I don't know much about this guy because he's fought on the, I think it was, what's that promotion that he fought? Icon. He's fighting the Icon promotion every single time. Got knockouts in each one of his fights in the first round. Looks like a puncher, looks like a power puncher. So he's coming in on short notice. What are we going to expect from this guy here, right? Short notice, big puncher. I think he's going to throw down in the first round. So if that's the case, yes, Maddalena can knock him out and Maddalena can punch himself, but why not just take this guy down and go to town on him, right? If his one path is striking, why not take him down and possibly give him a little ground and pound, let him give up his back like David said, and choke him out for plus 700. Why not? What do you got here, Tajik?
My play here is the same, is identical to Tim's, and I think the thought process around it has to be the same. You have to assume that JDM will stick to his plan, which is always kind of like revolves around measuring his opponent's sizing, trying to understand vulnerabilities here and at kind of offensive spots. So for him, I think first round he's gonna take his time. He's absolutely gonna take his time. Now, if Rodriguez is gonna give him this time, it remains questionable. But we have seen that in Maddalena's fight, even when he's going against a kind of high volume offense in the first round, he's still able to keep his cool and pick his spot. So I think in the second round, once Rodriguez kind of like guesses out, I think he will pick him apart. And something that you cannot take away from Maddalena is his volume, because he's throwing a lot of punches. And I think in the second round, something that I don't think Rodriguez has been a lot in the second round. I don't think he fought only 4 times. I mean, right at the professional level, so it's a tough spot for him. So Maddalena by TKO in round 2 is plus 5. What is it? FanDuel is plus 500. So I think I have a similar play to Tim. So, and there is no stealing team. Tim, no, there is sharing, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about his amateur career, right? He's got 9 fights in the amateurs, been to the second round once, and then decision once, and that's it.
His opponent's record is 4-15.
Yeah, I know, and all the rest of his amateur wins are in the first round. So this guy really hasn't been tested, hasn't been out deep. and he's facing actually a guy that's pretty skilled, man. I like what I saw. I'll be completely honest. I had a bet on Anjay Lusa in the contender series because from what I saw on his tape, like this guy was hurt multiple times in the first round on his regional scene in Australia, right? And I saw that and I'm like, dude, well, Anjay Lusa is at Sanford MMA, I believe, fighting good guys, looked good, is improving. I'm like, this guy's the spot, but man, he really impressed me. Madalena looked the best he's ever looked to me in that Dana White's contender series. And what that tells me is this guy is probably improving. I mean, he is not old at all. He's 25 years old. So the guy is improving. Rodriguez on short notice is up for it here, dude. And what Mbe said is very viable. I think Rodriguez TKO 1 is probably his opportunity. Just go out there and chuck bombs, right? Like do what you normally do. You're on short notice. You've never been late in fights anyway, so why not just go for broke early and see if you can land that bomb? It's not a completely agree to it's not a bad look, John, at all. Like if you're gonna play Rodriguez, that's the play, right? It's round one or nothing. Also, I just want to thank. There's 20 of you in here watching us live. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. I really appreciate it. And with that being said, we're gonna move on. Fight number 6. It is Hani Barcelos going up against the newcomer to the UFC, Victor Henry. I like Henry here, man. I like Henry by decision plus 850. I also have a bet here at over 2.5 at minus 105. Listen, I understand Hani Barcelos is a great fighter. He's good everywhere, extremely dangerous. You name it. The guy is really, really good, and he's fighting a newcomer in the UFC. But honestly, this guy's not a normal newcomer to the UFC. I'm going to tell you, this guy has a lot of experience. Got 26 fights. Never been stopped in 26 fights. I'm going to say one thing. His last loss to Denis Lavrentiev, okay? This guy's a really, really, really good fighter. I'm telling you guys right now, this guy's probably going to be in the UFC soon. And it's a guy that he beat previously, okay? And in the next fight, when they fought again, Dennis came through with his grappling. He's got good striking. But, this guy Henry's fought a lot of good guys. I mean, listen, he's fought Albert Morales, former UFC guy. He's fought and beat him. He's fought Kyler Phillips, UFC guy, and he beat him. Anderson Dos Santos, UFC guy, beat him. So this guy's experienced, guys. He's fought all over the world, Pancrase, Ryzen, Russia. I mean, fought a lot of good guys, never been stopped, throws a lot of his kicking game is probably his best aspect. He does not have a lot of power, but he throws a lot of volume, and his scrambling is really good. Honestly, like Barcelos sometimes, waits a lot, doesn't throw a lot of volume. So I can see Henry winning this fight via decision, and you're getting plus 850. Barcelos kind of like plays with his food at times, right? And his path of least resistance here is probably just to take this fight to the ground and do what you have to do, right? Because you're the better grappler here. But he just tends to like to strike sometimes, and it stays standing for a lot. Like, look at the Taha fight, right? Taha only knows one thing, is usually striking, right? Why stand there and strike with a guy and give him a chance? And he did that, and he played with his food for a while. So, for me, Victor Henry plus 850 is my Lambo play. What do you got here, Tajik? I'm afraid you're going to disagree here.
Yes, I will disagree. Well, I think actually I agree with 99.9% of everything you have said, except for the outcome, right? Because Henry is really is a vet. He fought at a tremendous level of opposition. So in terms of the strength of competition, despite the fact that he is a newcomer, you can still not conclude or say anything that he's not UFC ready. He's been UFC ready for years, and he brings a lot of experience, and his overall game, both stand up and grappling, is sufficient to put a viable oppositions to Barcelos. But Barcelos, I think his top game, Barcelos here is going to be superior to to Henry is because Lavrentiev dominated Henry on the ground, and he was able to control him there. And I think this is the main kind of vulnerability for Henry. And Barcelos doesn't have this kind of like a power to put his opponents away necessarily, at least at the UFC level, you would say, by large. But what he does have is consistent pressure and volume, and so ability to control and ground and pound his opponents. I know that Henry has never been stopped, but he has also never fought in the UFC. And I don't think he has ever fought a quality opposition that Raoni is. I 100% agree with that. Maybe 200. So I think the key here is that I think Barcelos will take him in the deep waters. He will take him. You know, I don't know if it's a decision here though, because I think Barcelos can stop him and he can stop him late. So my Lambo play here for this fight is gonna be Barcelos by TKO in round 3, and it's available at FanDuel at FanDuel for plus 1100.
All right, I honestly can't disagree with you because I do like Barcelos, really good fighter. I just have, I just think Henry, that they're underestimating Henry by, minus 550 to me is honestly ridiculous. This guy's
that's disrespectful. I mean, it's not that. I mean, but that's the money line, right? I mean, this is where because what happened here, a lot of sharps took an action on the Barcelos side here, and they just simply demolished this line, and so it's hard to blame them for that. And so you look at it at this price disparity right now, you're like, how the hell did it happen? This is such a disrespect. But this is not where the line has opened at, right? Like it opened at like 340ish or something like this. So where it is right now unplayable, I think it's still, there's not much value. It was about accurate at its open, and now it's kind of ridiculous. But those prop plays, I think they're kind of the way to play this fight.
Yeah, I totally agree. Laying 550 in MMA, not a great thing to do. And like I said, like Henry's not a pushover. Like I'm telling you guys, the guy's not a pushover. He's extremely tough, extremely durable. You could see it. 26 fights, never been stopped. He's not that guy. So, Tim, got anything good here?
Yeah, I think you guys broke it down perfectly. There's nothing really to add other than I want to be right in saying that Rowney will sub somebody in my life. And he's had the advantage so many times. I've thought he was going to sub people and predicted I think he's going to sub and bet on it, and then he has every advantage and he just doesn't go for it. And he fights to his opponent's path to victory, and it's mind-boggling. But so if you want to put him at minus 500 in your parlays, good luck with that. But I think he'll sub him. I agree with Tajik that as it gets deeper in the waters, maybe round 2, round 3, he might be able to get a sub. But I'll just go sub in general at plus 400 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you guys. Like I said, David Stewart says Henry doesn't hit hard enough for Hani to respect the striking. I agree. He's not a big hitter. He doesn't throw, but he throws volume. He throws a lot of kicks, awkward at times. He can give him some looks that, and it's a bigger ring. Remember that too. It's a bigger ring here. I do believe he has a reach advantage here. He looked taller at faceoffs. It says 5'7" to each guy, but Henry looked like a taller guy. The other thing I do want to say is if you guys watched the weigh-ins, Hani did not look very good on the scales early on. So I don't know if it was a tough cut for him. It seemed like it was. And the other thing is, this is like the second cut because this fight got rescheduled. So this is the second cut probably for both guys. So I don't know. It was just something that I saw. Adam says Barcelo sub. Mbae says I think Henry's a wrestler. I thought, well, on his tape he doesn't wrestle very much. He likes to throw a lot of kicks, striking. But, I mean, he might have some kind of wrestling base. His scrambling is very good. I'll tell you guys this. He's got really, really good scrambling ability. Fight could look similar to Kyler Phillips versus Henry, except Hani gets the finish. Well, it's possible. I'll take the experienced Mexican Californian Victor for the victory. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, he is from California originally, right? So, He's got a home field advantage here.
I think you're on
Yeah,
mute.
you're muted.
Sorry, guys. Moving on. Fight number 7. It is the Dana White's Contender Series guy, Michael Morales, undefeated, going up against the UFC vet in Trevin Giles. Kick it off to you, Tajik. It's your turn, buddy.
Yeah, I have like very minimal amount of interest in this fight because I never considered Giles any kind of like a betting commodity. It's very, painful to see him fight. Well, not to fight, but to bet him, right? Like, because it's a lot of sweat. He's not necessarily a fighter who fights for your money. One thing that I noticed, though, just kind of going through the stats, is that in his losses, Giles has a propensity to lose in the later rounds. Like, he's been finished twice in the third round. So if there is a play to play, it would have to be Morales wins in round 3 at plus 1400, which I think is a viable play here, considering the fact that we don't know how Giles is also going to respond to a weight cut. I don't know. I did not get an impression that he looked like in a tip-top shape. I mean, he looked drained to me. That was my impression, but I could be wrong. I never put much weight into how people look at the weigh-ins overall. I find it to be kind of unnecessary because I'm not, unlike Dana White and Joe Rogan, I'm not a doctor. So for me, it's like kind of like I'll just leave it out of the equation. So yeah, Morales round 3 at the plus 1400 is the play for me.
Solid. I love the takes. Tim, do you agree with Tajik or you got something else?
I got a little something else. I think this is going to be a close fight, and I, like Giles to win it. I think the split decision either way on both guys is plus 900, but I would take the Giles side to win by split. I think it goes to decision. I think he tries to stay away from him, and maybe you get a close round where he gets taken down and held for a little bit, and I just see a split. Giles tends to fight similar to Rowney, he just tends to fight to his opponent's winning paths, and he's got like a really low fight IQ, so just tends to fight closer fights than he should.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. For me, I do have a bet on Giles at plus 116. But let me give you guys my Lambo play. It is Morales round 3 plus 1400. And I'll just say, like, my bet on Giles is based on experience. It's based on Morales being 22. It's based on Morales not having fought anybody. It's based on Morales being in the bright lights again at UFC 270 in front of a huge crowd. I mean, guys, the guy's 22 years old, fighting at UFC 270 in front of a huge crowd. Like, it's eye-opening, right? And then you're facing a guy in Trevin Giles who is a big-time UFC vet. The guy has 8 UFC fights, right? Fought the much, much better opposition, right? Was fighting at 185. And, I always kind of question why people drop later on in their career, after you've had all these fights. Why are you dropping to 170? To me, he looked good on the scales. He looked really lean. Now, Tajik says he might be, kind of dried up or kind of, a tough cut for him. It might have been. It didn't look like it. He looked fine. But, the thing with Morales here is it's experience, guys. Like, to me, when you look at both these guys, who has the better skills? It's without a doubt in my mind, it's Giles. Like, he's the better striker. I think he's the faster guy. I think he's just better overall, right? The one question that we do have, and it always pops up, is Giles' fight IQ, right? It's questionable, and his cardio is kind of questionable too, right? Because he has been finished late. Duplessis finished in the second round, but Mearshart and Cummings finished him in the third round, right? So that is that thing that, he gasses late. Morales looked like he had good cardio in that Dana White's Contender Series. Now, the guy's not been many times to the third round either in his regional fights. But, he showed good cardio and you have a big plus money on a young guy that we know will probably be there in the third round because, honestly, Giles, I don't think is going to finish this guy. So, you're getting plus 1,400. I don't mind it at all. But my official track bet is on Giles at plus 116.
Who do you guys think has the grappling edge in this one?
I honestly think Giles is the better grappler here. But, Morales looked good against Veretnikov. But when you go and watch his regional tape, like, he never used wrestling, like, at all. Like, all of a sudden, he's a good wrestler. Like, Giles has good takedown defense. Like, don't watch the Dolidze fight and just say, oh, well, this guy has terrible takedown defense. No, I think it's like in the 70s or even 80%, like at 185. So, like, I think, honestly, I think Giles is undersized for 185. Like, the guy's probably more fit to be a 170-pounder. So, yeah.
A subline on Giles is actually 1,200. But
the problem is I just don't think he's going to use wrestling. Right?
No, I don't either.
That's the issue with that. Like, if he's gonna get it, it's gonna be based on
a sweep or something.
Morales. Like well, Morales doing the wrestling and him getting caught into something while he's doing the wrestling, right? So, yep. Moving on. Fight number 8. This is a very interesting one. It is Cody Stamann going up against Said Nurmagomedov. I think it's you, Tim.
Going back to the well in my lovely split decisions here. Going to go Cody Stamann for split decision at plus 1,000 on DK.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. That's my play. It's Cody Stamann by split majority decision, plus 1,000. Going back and just looking at, Stamann's career, I mean, I just a quick glance. He's got 2 wins in the UFC by split. He's got a majority draw against Yadong Song. A bunch of these other fights were really close. The guy is durable. He's tough, but he's also not a big finisher. And he fights really close. That's just how he fights. And now you got a guy in Nurmagomedov who's probably going to do a bunch of spinning kicks, doing all this stupid stuff. And even Nurmagomedov, when we saw him against Scoggins, who's a wrestler, guess what? It was a split decision win for Nurmagomedov. And when I went back and watched that fight, I kind of had it Scoggins 2-1, to be honest. And I think Scoggins won that fight. But, the split line, I just think is a great play here at plus 1,000. But I also have track plays on Stamann at plus 170, Stamann by decision at plus 270. I just love Stamann in this spot. I think he gets takedowns. Nurmagomedov just does way too many kicking, way too many spinning stuff, is going to get himself out of position. And Stamann's a very good wrestler, like really, really good wrestler. So I think he gets takedowns. I think he wins rounds. He wins minutes. What do you think, Tajik?
Oh, yeah, so I've seen a lot of sharps like taking action on Stamann, which I think I understand where they're coming from. I think it's going to be a close fight, but there's nothing Lambo as far as like the decision props for me, because like I'm taking the kind of Said side here, but Said is dangerous with his striking. So I think if anything, that maybe we should consider Cody Stamann being stopped for the first time in his career. I don't know. It's unlikely, but it's possible. So I would say my Lambo play here is going to be Said by wins in round 3 on DraftKings at plus 1,600.
I'll say something. Since I have so many bets on Stamann, I do want to say that I do have a hedge on Nurmagomedov by KO. Because he throws a lot of spinning stuff, and they're powerful. And
yeah, you have to have it.
Huh? Yeah,
you have to have it. I think you have to have it.
If they land, he can get him out of there for sure. And
I like the draw possibility there, because Stamann can absolutely dominate one round 100%, or get knocked down in a round.
I think it's kind of opposite, honestly. I think it's Nurmagomedov getting a knockdown, like a 2-point round, and then Stamen kind of winning, 2 rounds off of takedowns and just working, So yeah, I mean, I might throw a little lunch money on the draw. Thank you, Mbaye. Nick says, be surprised if super coach Nick Sick doesn't have the perfect game plan to take advantage of the excessive spinning, leaving open. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The one thing I mentioned is Said going to kind of tone it down here, knowing they have to have a game plan too, right? They know Stamen is such a good wrestler. Are you going to actually leave those openings for him to take him down that easily? They might have something in store too. So we'll see. It's a very, very interesting fight. Fight goes to decision minus 240 on FanDuel for gas money. I don't know. I don't like laying big money on goes to decisions, but I think it does go to decision if you ask me. But yeah, Cody said he didn't want to wrestle in his press conference. I never listen to those things. I'm sorry. He's not going to tell you. I'm sorry, William. These fighters, I call bluff a lot on them. They're not going to tell you what they're going to do. Just think about it. You sitting in his shoes in that press conference. Are you going to tell your opponent what you're going to do so he can say, okay, well, this guy's going to wrestle me. I know what he's going to, he's going to stand up with me. I know, well, I can throw all my spinning stuff and not be worried. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah, just watch the tape. He'll shoot a takedown every minute, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. That's just what he does. Emby says, I could see a Nurmi TKO. Yeah, completely. Yeah, I agree with Tajik. It's just the way he fights, right? Spinning stuff, a lot of explosive movements that can land, and if it lands, and he's pretty fast too. So
I think in the past there was a guy named Adlan Amagov. He reminds me, his technique reminds me a little bit of that. But these were at the Strike Force days. I'm not sure if he fought in the UFC. I think he fought in the UFC too. But so
I don't remember. I did watch Strike.
Yeah, Adlan Amagov. I think he from the Red Fury team. I think he is one of the first training partners of Khabib. When Khabib just moved to US, I think they were training together.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with the name, but I am familiar with Strike Force. 25 of you in chat. The number keeps going up. Thank you very much, each and every one of you. Without you guys, this show would not be here. So I have to thank you guys first and foremost. Adam says, how is Said's gas tank with all those spinning strikes and takedown defense? His gas tank is pretty good. I don't see anything that would tell me, oh, this guy gasses hard. I mean, he's been decisioned many times. I think he's even fought 5 rounds once or twice. So I don't think his gas tank is an issue. He doesn't throw a ton of volume. It's not like this guy throws a ton of volume. So he does throw a lot of spinning stuff, but he should be fine as far as cardio. Any round 3 Stamen because of that? Oh, wow. Round 3 Stamen. I just don't see Stamen as much as I don't see the urgency to finish with him, right? It's not really there. So maybe, who knows?
He's position over submission. He doesn't really even do much when he has good positions.
I just doubt he's gonna, I doubt he's gonna sub Said.
Yeah, I don't think Cody can finish a glass of milk. I mean, it's tough. But no, I no disrespect. It's just I have to see it. I mean about the milk, but not.
Yeah, good point here from Mbaye. He did fight at 125, and he's he's pretty long. Guy's 5'8", 70 and 3. So yeah. Moving on.
Yeah, and Quinn is saying there he's more of a wet blanket. What do you mean? He brings he cannot bring a wet blanket to the fight.
Tajik got jokes today, boys.
Yeah, but what is he suggesting here? Well, it's fine. Let's just move on. I guess
he's suggesting that he's just gonna stay on top of him and not let Said
lay and
pray like a wet blanket.
Oh, like a wet blanket. Okay, well. Yeah. So then,
not a dry one, because a dry one you can easily throw off.
So yeah, I think Said is gonna iron him out. So well, yeah.
There's the glass of milk for you. Nick gave you the glass of milk.
Let's go.
Moving on. Fight number 9. It is the always exciting Michel Pereira going up against the UFC newcomer, Andre Filial. Is it me? I think it's me. Yeah, I got a hot take here. I have Filial by decision plus 800. Plus 800 against the guy in Michel Pereira, who's not known to throw a lot of volume, who messes around a lot. He's saying he's serious now. He's saying, he's not going to showboat anymore. This guy fights close. For Christ's sake, Tristan Conley beat this guy by decision. Filial throws with power, but he's going to have to watch himself here because, like this is also a guy in Michel Pereira who has a lot of explosive movements. He does have power. I honestly, I don't understand plus 800. Like, this is not a guy in Pereira that's a minute dominator, right? This guy doesn't dominate minutes in fights. So why are you getting Filial at plus 800 by decision? Like, people are only predicting that this guy's only path is by knockout. I don't think so, man. Like, I honestly think he can win minutes here. Like, Pereira just doesn't throw a lot of volume. And I do think Filial can win the decision, and you're getting plus 800. And I also have a bet on Filial on the money line at plus 240 for half a unit, because I do think, Filial can win this fight. And if you should, here's the thing. Please don't ever lay like a big number on Pereira. It's just not the guy to lay big numbers on, because he's not a minute dominator. He's not a big minute winner. So he fights too close and he messes around a lot. So, Tajik, steer me the right way. I know you're pissed off at this take of mine, I think.
What, like it for Fialho?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Mike.
Oh, I love it. Tajik is on my side.
And I think Tim will be too, because, I think Fialho is the side here. I never, for Pereira, I think it's tough to bet him. Like, he's never here, always in this kind of movements that are unnecessary and irrelevant in MMA. He moves a lot but he's powerful. Let's give him he's strong, he's athletic, he's exceptionally big, for his weight class. But I always say cardio is the king, and I just don't think that he. I think Fialho, what he's going to do is going to pressure him, and he's going to put him in kind of like in a backpedaling mode. And if you do that, I think Pereira is beatable. You just don't let him get comfortable from the onset, and just push the pace. And I think it's hard to do, but I think it's doable. Can Fialho put him away instantly? I don't think so. I think first round, Pereira has one round and a half in him, but at the same time, he hit so hard. I mean, he hit James Vick and very many other guys. Like, if he lands those uppercuts, and I think he's gonna put Pereira away in the second round. That's why I'm taking Fialho to win by TKO in round 2. I think at Unibet it's at plus 1300, so I think it's a decent play.
There we go. Again, my favorite. I'm gonna trademark this: death, taxes, and Tajik giving you big Lambo plays. You can count on it. I do like it. Fialho hits very hard. But I would never mention the Vick knockout, just because Vick, I think, a strong win can knock the guy out. So the guy doesn't have much of a chin at all at this point. Tim, what do you got here, buddy?
I love your play. I think that if Fialho wins, the chin and durability on Pereira is pretty solid. He impressed me. He was as smart as he's been against Chaos Williams, and that was impressive. I'd like to parlay, if possible, that he'll break dance to the ring, and then maybe do a backflip at like minus 115. But no, I think he's KO 1-2 on FanDuel. If you mix both rounds, the combo round is plus 290 for Pereira. I'm just going to take the other side because I love yours, plus 800 on decision. And KO 1 is plus 500. KO 2 is plus 850. But I like the combo at plus 290 as well. I think, like you said, he hits hard. There's a chance he can knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, he's been knocked out. Fialho has been knocked out twice against Chris Curtis and Njokuani. So, I mean, he can be knocked out. He has been knocked out in 2 out of his 3 losses. And, we mentioned that Pereira has explosive movements. He's a big dude. I mean, I don't even, first of all, I don't know how this guy makes 170. He's so damn big. But, and we forgot to mention, like, Fialho is on very short notice here. So, what's his mindset? What's he thinking? Is he going to go for it? I just think, because Pereira has such big movements and explosive and is dangerous, I think Fialho is going to tone it down here against him because you can get caught while you're trying to throw your heavy leather. So you got to be really careful with a guy. Even with Chaos Williams, you saw him, and Chaos is a huge puncher, but he was kind of careful in that fight too himself. So moving on. The fights we've all been waiting for. It is the co-main event, the trilogy. It is the champion, Brandon Moreno, going up against the challenger, Davison Figueiredo. Tajik, this one's all yours, buddy. I know you got a Lambo here. Don't tell me you don't.
I do, yeah. It's a draw. That's what I put here. I think this fight has a. They already fought once, haven't they? Like, and it was a draw. And Figueiredo hits hard, so he can knock. He can get a knockdown. He can also get points deducted here. And I think, I think it's very possible. There have been only 4 draws, I think, in the history of the UFC title fights, and Figueiredo versus Moreno is one of them. So that's 24%, 25% equity in a draw is in this fight from what we have so far. So why not? Why not draw here? At plus 5,000 is a play. So I know George, our friend, had got it at plus 8,000. So that's incredible. I mean, so yeah. So why not draw? I'm on the draw side here, and I think narrative wise it makes sense because we haven't seen like the trilogy here ever in the UFC history. So it will be the first time that there's a possibility for the 4th fight. So if it's going to be a close fight, then yeah,
Let me ask you this a little. Well, it's on topic, but off the Lambo play topic. What do you think? What do you think of Figgy? How did he look at weigh-ins? Did you watch?
Yeah. So I normally don't put, just in general. So I don't put any kind of weight into how they look at the weigh-ins. Like, it just has always kind of helped me out because I don't want to get stuck into overthinking something that I cannot quantify. And it becomes problematic when you try to look into the weigh-ins because it's very subjective. Like I said, I don't have any kind of medical credentials to know for sure in what condition he is, and it's not mostly about how they look. I think Santino DeFranco was talking about it a lot in his pods. It's mostly about how you recover after you made weight. And I think a lot of with that, and that's not something we could be a part of. Like, we cannot be a part of this journey, from the moment they took the scale to the moment they're recovering and up until the fight time, right? So it's very hard. That's why I tend to ignore how they look at the scales and kind of and not, yeah, because I can't quantify. I don't put any weight to it. So that's why. But Figgy is strong. I mean, the fact that he has highest knockdown rates in the history, I think it's of the division is remarkable. He also has most takedown attempts in the division's history, alongside Luis Smolka. So I mean, he is just very, very accomplished, in that sense. So how do you ignore that? Just on the paper, him being so complete both standing and on the ground. It's just very hard to bypass. Yeah, I think he's gonna choose to wrestle, but it's just, yeah, if I did not have to bet on a draw, I would say Figgy stops him, right? Like, that's my second way, because that's the first time when I made showed my bet on Twitter, my Hail Mary parlay. People said, "Oh, you pick a draw, but you bet Figgy." Like, okay, but I have multiple parlays, and so, but one of them is just I think Figgy from the probability standpoint by just TKO, I think is more viable than a draw, of course. That's why you get plus 5,000 on a draw after all. So, but I like the draw here, and I think it's It's very possible here.
Yeah. I mean, with Figgy, like, he's the one guy, and there might be a couple others, but he's the one guy that I truly believe that you need to watch weigh-ins with this guy, just because of how this guy's looked in the two previous fights with just Moreno, right? The first time he looked fine on the scales, looked completely fine, and you saw it in the ring, right? He looked completely, he won the 5th round in that fight. And he threw everything in the kitchen sink there at Moreno, and he still won the 5th round, and he still had the cardio. And then you go and watch the second fight and the second weigh-in, and he could barely make it on the scale, had to be carried. And guess what? He looked like complete shit in that ring. It didn't even look like the same guy fighting, honestly. Like, when you watch these two fights, it wasn't even the same guy to me. So I think he's the one guy that I do think you have to pay attention to weigh-ins with this guy, because of his history and how tough the weight cut has been for him, right? So I think it is important with some people. You do have a point. Sometimes it's, we're not doctors. We don't know how these guys are refueling and how they feel afterwards. But I think it's kind of important with Figgy. It's just because of history with him. Tim, what do you got here for us?
Yeah, I like Figgy to win a decision, and I like potentially I would also do the split decision. But Figgy points is 450, and then the split decision I think is plus 1600.
Wow.
I think Moreno is very durable. I thought Figgy won the first fight minus the getting a point deduction. Thought he won round 5, kind of disproving the doesn't have gas in round 4 and 5 situation. Like you said, he wrestles more. The only fear is just the last fight. He's 34 years old and this is featherweight, so could he be completely on the decline? Possibly. So, but I like the points plus 450.
I'm right there with you. You can get it at 500 on FanDuel. Figgy decision plus 500. Pretty similar points. Like, Moreno, extremely durable, very, very tough guy to get out of there. Yes, Figgy hits like a truck for this division. Figgy's extremely strong, but Moreno's scrappy, man. Like the guy is tough to get out of there. Extremely tough, Mexican blood. Really, really good fighter himself. But when I break down this fight, like, I'm going to be, completely honest. I have a bet on Figueiredo at plus 155. I have a bet on Figueiredo by decision at plus 500. And going back and watching that first fight, guys, to me, that's how you got to gauge Figueiredo, because to me, the second fight, that wasn't Figueiredo. Like Mbaye says a good point here. Figueiredo, 13 punches thrown in the first round. Is that Figueiredo? Like, that's not him. Like, he was getting ragdolled. He's always the one that does the ragdolling, and he did the ragdolling in the first fight against Moreno, and now all of a sudden he's getting ragdolled in the second fight. Why? What's the reasoning? I think it's because he had a terrible weight cut and the guy was just toast. Like, he knew it. And mentally he was drained. Physically he was drained, and Moreno completely dominated. But go back and watch the first fight and tell me, with a not a non-biased lens, who won that fight? Like, I don't see how you score that fight as a draw. It's like Figueiredo won that fight to me, and somehow they made it a draw. Whatever it may be, I think he's the better fighter. I think he is the stronger fighter. I think his weight cut, he said he's been training for 4 months. I don't think this drained him at all. It looked like he was on point throughout his pictures, his Instagram. He's in that camp with Cejudo, fight ready. They're throwing a bunch of good stuff in his body. Who the hell knows? But the guy looked good on the scales. He was very intense when they're staring at each other at face-offs. Figueiredo, I think, is the value side here, plus 155. I don't know how you can play Moreno in that plus 180, minus 180, minus 190 range. I have no idea after watching both those fights. So give me Figueiredo by decision plus 500. Give me Figueiredo plus 155. I will take that all day. Moving on, it is the main event, the fight that everybody's been talking about, the fight that everybody's been waiting for. It is the defending champion, Francis Ngannou going up against Cyril Gane. I will kick this one off to Tim. Find me a Lambo play here.
There are a bunch of Lambo plays in this one. I think you can go early Ngannou and go KO1, KO2. I think you can go later Gane. As I think you can go unanimous Gane. So unanimous Gane is plus 350. Round 4 for Gane is plus 1800, and round 5 is 2500. I tend to actually side with Ngannou though. There's something about it. I just feel like he catches him in the first 2 rounds at some point with one shot, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, so I told myself when this fight was made, I am not going to bet this fight. We're Friday night at 10:08 Central Standard Time. I have not made a bet on this fight. I kept my word. And the reason is, I mean, Ngannou fights, the dude is just so hard to bet against, right? Who's the better fighter here? Like everybody knows it's Gane. He's the technical fighter. He's got the kicking game. He can grapple. He can do this. He can do that. But all it needs is one punch from Ngannou and everything changes. And I just can't bet against a guy like that. Like I do think Gane is going to win this fight. I do think he's the better fighter. I do think everything that other people say he is, but you can't bet against a guy like Ngannou, man. His power is just unreal, and all it takes is one punch. So for me, I have to give a Lambo play, and my Lambo play is going to be really simple. It's going to be Gane by decision plus 300. Ngannou's never been finished. Fought Derek Lewis, fought Miocic. The guy's never finished. I don't think Cyril Gane is like this guy, like this big finisher guy. He couldn't finish Volkov. He couldn't finish Rosenstruck. What makes me think he's going to finish Ngannou, who's extremely durable? Like, guy has a good chin. Guy is extremely tough. I don't think Gane is going to be able to finish this guy. So if you're going to go on the Gane side, I think decision at plus 300 is the play. I do think he's going to win this fight. It's just Ngannou is just so hard to bet against, guys. Like, honestly, it like scares me to even, click that submit button on Gane when I do think he's going to win this fight. But, like, it's the equalizer. It's the power. Like, he's got 5 rounds to land it. Like, people say, like, okay, Gane can't knock him out late. Why? The guy has so much fucking power. It's going to take one punch, and he can knock him out late. And I just don't want to mess with this fight any which way. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to have my drink, and I'm going to enjoy the fight. What do you got, Taji?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit back too, enjoy this fight, and bet and Gane. So that's what I'm going to do. I like Gane here, and I like him late, and I think I agree with you that it's gonna be hard to put Ngannou away. But my key to victory for Gane, and I've said about it in the past, is not gonna be in the striking, but it's gonna be in the grappling. I think. Because I disagree with this notion entirely that this is a striker versus striker. I think what we are going to see is Gane's ground game, and he will be proactively seeking takedowns, and it's probably towards the late second round, early in the third. And yeah, it's not relevant whether he is going to take Ngannou down. What he would try to do by clinching him or by trying to take him down is to exhaust him, put some pressure on his shoulders. And we know that Ngannou is a big boy, so he's a very muscular guy. So why not tire him out and just give him different looks so that you could, implement your high kicks afterwards if you need to. So yeah, I think this is where the path to victory for Gane resides, and this is where he's different in Gane because he just simply has more ways to win this fight, in my opinion. So I'm leaning towards Gane, and this is gonna be probably the biggest Lambo play today. I like Gane to win by submission in round 4, which is at Bet Rivers looks like is available at plus 6,000.
Very, very big one there, Tashik. He just mic dropped. Yeah, he just mic dropped, guys. Gane looks bigger. Mbaye says. Yeah, I mean,
The thing is, too, is that there were like 4 or 5 times that Volkov hit Gane where his defense was just going back. And every time he hit him, I thought, man, if Ngannou hits him with one of those punches, he's dead.
But
smaller ring, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but I just think that Volkov's got just a different striker, and he's predictable with how he goes, and he was coming in straight, and Gane's defense was just to try to get back. And so many people try to do that against Ngannou, and he's got really long reach, and it's just easy for him to connect in those situations if that's how you defend.
Yeah. I mean, it was in the smaller ring. I just looked it up. It was in the Apex. Okay. So I think this bigger ring favors Gane. Like, he's lucky, I think, in a way for it to be in a bigger ring. It's not in the Apex, because in the Apex, I think there's just less room to move and more less distance for Ngannou to cover. Were you going to say something? Sorry, Tajik?
No, I was going to say, I think Tim is right in that, if Gane defends in the same way that he defended against Volkov, he's going to be in a deep trouble. I think at the same time, I find Volkov to be a tad bit, if not not significantly, but a bit more technical in his striking. Yeah, he blitzes forward, but I think he picks his spots a little bit better than Ngannou does. Whereas Ngannou, for him, is a definition of blitz, right? I think Volkov is a little bit more tactical in that sense. So it's maybe the reason why I say that is because that I think he should be wary of that threat. And I think that fight with Volkov prepared him a little bit better to counter the stray shots. So yeah, I think I just can't wait for this fight to happen. I think it's going to be an excellent fight.
Yeah, everybody can't wait. Mushrooms asking, Lambo plays parlays, please. Yes, sir, we will give you those. But before we give you those, I need to ask one favor, because I haven't asked for many. Please subscribe to my channel. Please smash the like button. It helps me out. I try to put out more content. I will put out more content. And then there's 30 of you rocking in here. Thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us on a Friday night. I do want to drop one thing before I move on and we give you guys these parlays. In the description below, I do have one of my friends is running a poker NFT. It's called Lionshare NFT. Please, if you're interested in learning poker, he was number 2 ranked player in the world, really good player. Go into that Discord. They're giving a lot of free information out in there. They're doing a lot of coaching in there for free. It's great. It's in the link. If you can go in there, it's called Lionshare NFT. Go in there and join that Discord. It's a great community. With that being said, my buddy Phil Hugh is in the house. What's up, Phil? What do you guys think about Ngannou having not fought in front of a crowd since 2019? What do you think about that, Tashi? The guy hasn't been in front of a crowd for a while. What do you think? Is that going to harm him? Is that going to, maybe mess up that gas tank because of adrenaline dumping or something? What do you think?
I mean, I haven't been in front of the people in a long time too, but when I need to show up like I do, right? I mean, we have to be professionals. Ngannou is a very, very professional guy. If you look at his demeanor, like the way he carries himself, and if you watch his interview, he's a very reasonable guy, a gentleman, a professional, a true sportsman, and I think well-deserved champion of the world at this point. So yeah, you can be, I think when they asked him about what is he excited about, one of the things that he has mentioned actually was the fact that he will be fighting in front of the crowd for the first time in a long time. So for somebody like him, I think it's a great, excitement, because he likes, I mean, he's the type of guy, think about it, who puts people away very frequently, right? And the best appreciation, it's not like a year-end evaluation for the workplace, right? I mean, he puts people away, and his evaluation is the crowd response, and crowd erupts when he puts people away. So I think this the same vibes, getting the crowd back and in anticipation of KOing Gane is going to give him so much more motivation, not motivation, but excitement and eagerness to engage. And I don't find it to be anyhow negatively affecting him. If anything, it's going to be positive.
Awesome. If you have anything to add, Tim.
Yeah, I think you made a great point last week about not betting the main events so often because they're the sharpest lines, and that's just such a great point. I'm sitting back looking at this fight myself, just going, just enjoy it, just enjoy it.
Listen, I've said it, and I'm gonna continue to say it. Like in main events, especially like something like this. This is not even a fight night main event, right? This is a UFC 270. This is the mecca of all. This fight is the mecca of the UFC at this point, and all eyes are on it, including every book, including every sharp guy out there. So this line, they're tight. They're tight. That's all I'll say. You're not gonna make a lot of money betting main events. This will be boring until something happens. Make Tim a full-time host with you guys. He's welcome at any point. I love Tim. Great guy. Juan Carlos as the safest locks and the best bet for tomorrow. Let's give him something. Safest lock on this card.
Let me give maybe a quick answer here. There's no such thing as safest lock and the best. I mean, I don't find that to be. I mean, yeah, I'll stop there. There's so much volatility in almost every fight on this card. A main event, co-main event, there are very few spots. Just values, not few, but the value spots you have to dig deep. So I don't want to give you an impression that there's such that I would find and say, oh, like this is like absolutely safest spot to go. I don't find that on any side here. Like just maybe like off the gate.
So I'll give him my best bet. My best bet would be, I think probably the safest play for me on this card. Obviously, there's no locks. I don't call it a lock. It would be Matt Frivola. I do think he's the better fighter everywhere against an inexperienced guy coming into the UFC. I just think Matt Frivola should roll here in this. Do you have anything, Tim?
Yeah, the only lock I know is Manpreet, MMA lock of the night.
Yeah,
in MMA, right?
Yeah.
That's I like for the parlays or for the like the best play.
He's just asking for a best bet maybe.
I think Jack by KO.
Yeah, that was my second one. I think Jack wins here. Inside the distance, I would say, just because I have mission prop. So Lion Share is in the house. That's who I was talking about, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Lion Share. Guys, it's in the description. Like I said, I think it's going to affect his cardio slightly, says Phil. Raising his heart rate in front of the crowd, it seemed to affect him in round 1 versus Stipe. It's possible, Phil. Thanks, guys. Good luck. Good luck to you also. Grateful Dude is in here late. It's always being here late. Better late than never. How many finishes do you guys think will be there this weekend? Let me go through it real quick. I'm gonna say 3 finishes.
Yeah.
What do you guys say?
4.
4?
Yep.
So I'm usually like somewhere close to how many it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be night full of finishes. So far I have 7.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna be bloodied up if there's gonna be 7 finishes here.
Yeah, it's gonna be 7, and then yeah, if you count Jourdain finishing Topuria, it's 8 actually.
Wow. Holy moly.
Yikes.
Holy moly. That was the fight I had a bet on Jourdain. I had Jourdain.
I actually like this motion.
Yeah, I love the drop the mic motion. But with that being said, let's give these guys our Lambo parlays for the week. Just for context, Tim, tell them what your Lambo parlay hit last week. What was the plus money on that?
Plus 96. It was 96.20, so it was 96
there you
to
go.
1.
So guys, you put $100, you win $9,620 on that Lambo parlay that he hit last week. So with that being said, we will kick it off to the Lambo parlay master, Tim. Go ahead. Give us your Lambo parlay this week.
I like Giles split decision and Cody Stamen split decision, and it's 109-1.
Jesus Christ. 109-1, guys. That is definitely a Lambo parlay. I will give you guys a monster one too. It is a 3-teamer with Stamen by majority and split decision, Juarez by majority and split decision, and Figueiredo by decision. It's 72,500-1. So that is an insane one. If you put $10, you win $7,250. Throw a little lunch money on that and see what happens. Tajik, what do you got for Lambo parlay?
Yeah, I gave mine on Twitter earlier today, but yeah, we have to talk about that in Bay. Yeah. So here is mine. If you don't fully capture it, just go to Twitter and check my Twitter profile. So yeah, I have Frivola by KO or TKO, Tony Gravely by KO or TKO, Raoni Barcelos by KO or TKO, Andre Fialho by KO or TKO, Brandon Moreno versus Davidson Figueiredo, a draw, and then Cyril Gane by submission. And that's...
Does that buy a house?
Yeah, $10 with that gets you about $1 million. Yeah, so close.
So that buys you more than
buys a small island somewhere.
Small island, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, so yeah, so if you kind of like giddy on skipping Chipotle meal tomorrow and putting a bet on a potential $1 million payout, do it or not.
Tajik, you do not fail this chat here. You do not fail them. I mean, $1 million for $10, guys. It's only on this show you get something like that. But
yeah. It's a Hail Mary parlay, but I think it's intriguing, and yeah, you only need to win
5% chance of hitting.
Hey.
Yeah, I think it's actually less than that, which is why I like this kind of bets.
Why play the lotto? Why play the lotto, Tajik? Why play the lotto?
Yeah, it's just a low probability, but I think I still get the better odds than in the lottery. No, like I don't know. It's so maybe not, but yeah, that's the play. I think it's an interesting one, and so yeah, and for Bay, I don't know. I think it's an interesting proposition because I haven't repped in a while, so maybe people in the chat, what do you think? I have a passion in rapping, and so maybe if maybe during our next podcast where we'll be I'll drop a few bars and we'll take it from there, right?
Yeah, we might give you guys something special in the near future with Tajik. He's gonna take off the skull cap, he's gonna wear some chains, and it's just gonna be completely different Tajik. So it's expect the unexpected on the Lambo Plays podcast. But with that being said, thank you to each and every one of you. There's 31 of you still in here with us. Thank you very, very much. On your way out, please hit the like. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. And with that being said, Tajik, tell them where they can find you. Tell them that when something about that follow button. I was told there's something to do with that follow button. Can you talk about that?
No, it's a usual disclaimer that I put. If you try to follow me on Twitter at Tajik Bay, there's no unfollow button. So like you think twice before you make this decision. It's a big commitment. So I wouldn't blame you if you don't follow me on Twitter. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And if you want to shoot me a message or just chat about the fights, like we do with Mike and Tim, you're more than welcome to. I'm very open to to chatting with you. And thanks again, Narco, for inviting us. And Tim, like always, great to have you. I wish we can have you. Hopefully, we can have you every time for our every. It would be great because I think the vibe is great, the energy is great. I like the chemistry here, and thanks everybody in the chat because I think without you guys, we would be just talking to ourselves, right?
Yeah, Tajik, you can't say thank you for having me. You are the co-host of this show. So thank you for being here. But Juan keeps asking, so I got to answer him. I can't just keep looking at this and ignore it. He says over 3.5 on Moreno Figueiredo. Really quick, Tajik, would you like that play?
No, I don't. I don't have a take here. I'll say that maybe real quick. I don't do over unders as much. I don't find them to be just something that I'm passionate about. It's just not my styles of play. Never has been. So I'm not the best person to ask about this.
I like it, Juan. I think the fight goes over. Over 3.5 is fine. I think it's at like minus 130, 140 range. It's a fine play. Tim, anything on that?
I would like the over too.
And okay. And Mushroom says, vote for Tim 2022. Yes, sir. Tim, that being said, tell them where they can find you. Anything going on, you let them know on the way out. Tell them anything you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, once again, just super honored to be on here. This is just such a blast. Thanks again for having me, both of you guys, really. I'm on Twitter at Timothy Troiano, and that's pretty much it. It's the only place you can find me.
Yeah, I'll say something for him since he doesn't say it. Just if you guys want, wait till like, Saturday, I would say at like, 12 a.m. maybe 11:30, and then look at the screenshots for all the Lambo parlays and all the long shots he hits each and every week. So I'll say that for him. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. You guys can find me at NarcoCop on Twitter. Obviously, you're at my YouTube channel. You also, Tajik didn't mention, we've been in spaces a little. I want to do Twitter spaces a lot more with him. We talk about fights there, like early breakdowns, stuff like that. We were on there. It was pretty fun. There was a lot of people, a lot of engaging. We have a lot of the people, in Twitter spaces come up and talk and give their points. And we learn from them just like they learn from us. So it's a give and take, and I love it on there. I'm going to be doing more Twitter spaces. Look out for that in the coming weeks. And also, basically, thank you, each and every one of you, again in chat. I appreciate you. And good luck to everybody. I hope we smash them tomorrow. Those bookies might be running for the hills tomorrow, guys. Take care and have a great night.